Ruben, then you Clay Aiken, but second place gets nothing. So get up out this godforsaken booth. The truth is you sadly mistaken. Proof I'm back.
So apparently HVAC repairman Eddie Kingston and string cheese Sammy Guevara still going at it back and forth. Now you got Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter apparently are going at it. Kenny Omega is having rah-rah speeches in which he's offending people and upsetting folks. What is going on in AEW? Like, apparently just either they're getting a wave of bad publicity that's coming seemingly out of nowhere, or there really is some problems. Now, I will state, I don't take everything the wrestling media says seriously. And since some of this stuff comes from ringside news, I'm kind of questioning whether all of this stuff is true. But we're going to go through some of this today, because Eddie Kingston absolutely decapitated Disco Inferno on Twitter, and it was hilarious. So, but I'm not going to rely on the gimmick of reading other people's opinions. There's enough meat in this story for me to just talk about it myself, right? So now we have to back up a couple of days. Back up. Eddie Kingston. It comes out that Eddie Kingston is suspended because apparently he took a shot at Sammy Guevara. And I'm like, okay, well, Sammy sucks. I mean, that's reason enough to slap him. But apparently he slapped Sammy Guevara because Sammy Guevara said something in a promo that he didn't like. And so, because Sammy called him fat, which he is. I mean, he is fucking fat. I mean, if you don't want people to talk about you being fat, stop being fat. You've been fat for a long time, Eddie. Come on, man. You know, it's been a while now. You probably have heard every fat joke possible. I choose not to make fat jokes. I choose to make jokes about how you look. You know, I think you look like a construction worker. That's not nobody's fault but yours. The fact that you're fat only adds to the construction worker stereotype. I mean, that's all it is. So Eddie Kingston gets all in his feelings. He's all sensitive. He didn't take his pills that day, so he decided he was going to attack a guy for calling him fat in a wrestling promo. It's not like he called him fat in something else, like personally said it to his face or something like that. He called him that in a wrestling promo. Oh, but Mongo, it might not have been a wrestling promo. Yes, it was. Sammy Guevara is going to explain what happened. Sammy Guevara explains, as a professional, you communicate things you don't want to be said. And I did communicate of what I didn't want to be said in this angle, and Eddie didn't. But Eddie did not do the same, and Eddie did not mention to me or the coaches or TK or anyone in AEW what he didn't want said. So after Tay and my match with Sky Blue and Dante, I cut a promo on Eddie, insulting Eddie and the fans as a heel. Which I know the thing everyone loves to do is hate me and Tay, so I'm the perfect person to play this asshole character for Eddie to ultimately beat at All Out. I see what people say about his appearance online. So, Sammy Guevara, the character, I could be the physical person playing that person that Eddie can shut up at All Out, but Eddie did not do the professional thing and communicate to me, which, if he did, I never would have said it, because the last thing I want to do is hurt someone for real, which is absolutely pathetic. And that's so sad. I don't want to hurt the guy's feelings, for Christ's sake. I just want to do all my spin jumps all over him. I don't really want to hurt the guy, for Christ's sake. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway, so he continues. So after the promo, I get to the back and Eddie is flipping out, yelling, "You can't call me fat," over and over as I'm trying to walk down the stairs in Gorilla, making a big scene. People get in between us. Eddie's tried to pie my face and more like touches my face. It was weird, and everyone backs up. It was unfortunate because this promo was on a tape show and easily could have been edited, which they ended up doing anyways. I know this isn't Eddie's first time being aggressive and getting out of control backstage. I know he had to do some kind of anger management after this whole thing. This whole thing was very unnecessary, but it is what it is. Live and learn, I guess. On to the next we go. So, this idiot gets caught fat in a wrestling promo. He spurgs out, forgets to take his pills, and all of a sudden, he wants to hit Sammy Guevara. But here's the crazy thing. Apparently, nobody backstage in AEW has ever been in a fight, because as soon as he touches Sammy Guevara's face, everybody was like, "Whoa," and backed up like, "Oh my goodness, are they shooting? Sammy might be underplaying the situation. He might have got cold cocked. He might have got chopped or something like that. Some people are exaggerating. Some people want to, say it wasn't what it was. Who knows what it was? The bottom line is the fucking idiot got really upset and got very mad at Sammy Guevara. He then apologized for saying that he wasn't as professional as he should have been. And just for the sake of being fair, I will put out there what Eddie Kingston said, even though I did put it in my community post. Eddie Kingston said, "You know the truth." Oh, wait. Eddie Kingston didn't say that. Eddie Kingston said, "You know the truth. I wouldn't lie. I was wrong for being unprofessional. That is a blind fact. He did what he did, and the public can judge that. But I know for a fact I was wrong." So that was his version of an apology. That's the best you're going to get from somebody who clearly has the IQ of the janitor at Walmart. So apparently that wasn't all. Sammy Guevara is willing to let it go. He's willing to walk away. He's willing to say, you know what? The guy's just Eddie Kingston is Eddie Kingston. I mean, he's going to do what he do. And what he's going to do is not be in his right mind all the time. So he's going to clearly just allow the guy to let things smooth over, which he should. After he said the stuff he said about Sasha Banks, he really should just let this stuff go. So everybody thinks it's over. But then it hits the internet, because this was done very quietly. This was done very, very quietly. And then everybody thinks, okay, well, Eddie Kingston got suspended for a little while. He's back now, apparently, even though I haven't seen him yet. And whoosh, it's all over. Everybody's talking about, oh, Eddie Kingston beat up Sammy Guevara backstage like it's a big deal. I mean, look at Sammy Guevara, for Christ's sake. I mean, just look at him. Does he look like a guy you deserve a medal for beating up? No. Come on. Who couldn't beat up Sammy Guevara? Anyway, Glenn Gilberti, gifted Glenn Gilberti, the Disco Inferno, for those of you who don't know. Had a pretty good podcast, but I don't agree with everything he says. But on some issues, he is absolutely correct. Disco Inferno says, quote, "Wrestlers and fans need to pull a full stop on this fat-shaming bullshit. The wrestlers being fat-shamed need to put the effort into the gym and diet instead of playing a victim. Do the fucking work and stop embarrassing the industry." Now, Disco Inferno, again, I don't agree with everything that he says, but he has been right about one thing particularly, that wrestling has become incredibly niche because it has become something for nerds, not just marks. I'm talking nerds. I'm talking Lord of the Rings. I'm talking what's that shit? Game of Thrones. I'm talking Star Wars and Star Trek. And it's something people go to conventions and doesn't wash their ass for. And these people are very sensitive. Very sensitive. And Eddie Kingston is now their hero. Like I said, he's number one among the chicken, tendies, Cheeto stain demographic. It is what it is. I like Eddie Kingston, but I don't like him that damn much. I like him enough to tell him the truth. And that is, you probably would be a better wrestler if you lost 20 to 30 pounds. You know, you probably would be in a better shape if you took care of yourself. It probably wouldn't be struggling at 40 years old. And then, through the grace of Cody, getting a job in AEW, if you had, the correct temperament for pro wrestling. It's not just his appearance. It's also his temperament. He's out of his mind. So Disco Inferno says that. And this, of course, pisses off Eddie Kingston even further. Eddie Kingston says, quote, this is on Twitter, "You never did the work, and the boys kept you around to laugh at you. I remember hearing the story where Big Show farted in your face. You ain't a man." I'm sorry. Eddie Kingston did not say that. Eddie Kingston said, "You never did the work, and the boys kept you around to laugh at you. I remember hearing the story where Big Show farted in your face. You ain't a man." Hilarious, by the way. This was fantastic stuff. Completely took Disco out of the game. Disco then is now being deluged, probably day 2 or 3 of people attacking him for being either a Trump supporter or B, a job guy, whatever the case may be. But Disco ain't wrong. if you're sensitive about your weight, the best thing, and you're on TV, man, you're on TV. So if you're sensitive about your weight, you make enough money now to go to the gym. Invest in going to the gym. Okay? It is what it is. Now, again, you don't have to be, and I want to say this because I think I did that whole hour-long video about Eddie Kingston being fat, you know? And it was actually near the end where somebody said something that was smart. Because I saw so many people trying to defend Eddie Kingston yet again by saying Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow and Yokozuna and Umaga, I guess they were embarrassments to the business because they were fat guys. It's like, not every fat guy is Vader. Not every fat guy is Bam Bam Bigelow or Dusty or anybody else you may want to look at. Eddie Kingston doesn't have the cardio those guys have. Watch a Vader match and then watch an Eddie Kingston match. And tell me if you don't notice the difference. Watch Umaga and then watch Eddie Kingston. Hell, even watch Kevin Owens, who's closer to Eddie Kingston's body type than Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston does not have any athletic ability whatsoever. Compared to Kevin Owens, he makes Kevin Owens look like fucking Rey Mysterio. Eddie Kingston can barely run. What? Look, Eddie Kingston may be great at so many things. He's a great promo. He's a great character. I love doing the Eddie Kingston impression. He's fantastic. But the guy is fat with bad cardio and he's unathletic. So when people notice that you're fat and unathletic and you're in a business where it pays to be athletic, I'm sorry, sir, you are out of bounds. Get your shit together. Invest in going to the gym. Maybe go meatless a couple of days. Go breadless, definitely. Bread and rice are your enemies. All right. I know he's Puerto Rican, so that's probably going to be a thing with him. He's probably going to be like, what? No bread and no rice. What do you mean? What are you saying to me? You trying to starve me? Trying to starve me to death? What are you saying? You know, but you got to do something, man. You know, you're 40 years old too, you know. And as one smart fan that I saw, one person, I think, responded to, I think it might have been Russell Cringe, it was some loser, that a lot of the guys that he mentioned, like Vader and Dusty and Bam Bam, a lot of those guys died young. And I didn't think about that. And it's true. Like, a lot of those dudes were athletic. Bam Bam was athletic as hell. Now, they did have other issues, you know, drugs. But, you know, Big Boss Man, you know, there's a lot of big dudes who were really good and really athletic. And they died young. You know, people are kind of bullying Eddie Kingston. They are. But they're also trying to prolong his career. They're also trying to help him, you know. And if Eddie Kingston had ever been around men, he would know that. And you would think that a dude who has that street guy personality would understand some good-natured ribbing, even about something that you're sensitive about. You would understand that. Apparently he doesn't. And look, I don't care about his ability to go NBA Jam on Disco Inferno. The fuck? Disco Inferno gets dunked on all the time. He is a human soccer ball. Everybody dunks on Disco Inferno. I remember that one time Cody just went apeshit on Disco Inferno and he ain't never recovered. You know? It's just kind of how it is. I think Kenny Omega barely gets over on anybody, but Kenny Omega almost always dunks on Disco Inferno and Will Ospreay. Like, those are two guys that Kenny Omega really can cut promos on and actually make himself look good. So Disco Inferno, he's a job guy even on Twitter. He's, again, nothing major to get over on Disco Inferno. So if Eddie Kingston doesn't want people talking about him being fat, he should have taken the time that he was suspended and come up with a diet plan. All right? And not even really a diet. You don't need to go on a diet, really. All you really need to do sometimes is up your physical activity. You know? Or he need to change his style and need to become more of a Southern brawler and stop trying to be, you know, some Japanese puroresu cardio monster. Because that's all those guys. I mean, those guys were like 6-foot Japanese dudes. They were doing neck bridges every day. They were cardio machines. So even if they weren't shredded and cut like the Ultimate Warrior, those dudes could literally fight you and beat upon each other for 40 fucking minutes. Do you believe Eddie Kingston could do that? No. No, I saw Eddie Kingston damn near kill Chris Jericho less than 5 minutes into a match. He couldn't even do an overhead suplex. I don't even think Eddie Kingston has any upper body strength. So I'm not even understanding why he gets so upset about this. So he needs to tighten up. He needs to tighten up. He needs to get it together. So it wasn't just Eddie Kingston, though. So on Dynamite, which was August the 25th, Thunder Rosa, it comes out Thunder Rosa is going to surrender the Women's World Championship. Almost because nobody knows what the injury is and nobody told anybody what the injury is. People are saying that Thunder Rosa is faking her injury because she's really trying to get away from Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. And I say, what? Come on. That doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. But let's entertain the idea because there are some true elements to it. So the story goes that Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa have had heat for a long time now. This goes back to at the beginning of this, not really this particular incident, but the sandbag situation. So apparently Ivelisse, this was almost 2 years ago now, got into it in the ring with Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa and Ivelisse, they had a problem. This ended up with being Thunder Rosa or Ivelisse being released a little bit later. Then people were saying that Thunder Rosa was sandbagging in matches and making them look bad. And that kind of got her some heat backstage. So after she wins the title, Britt Baker goes away for a while. They reconvene a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite. And Britt Baker presents a sandbag and says, try carrying that around for 3 months. Apparently it's a shot at Thunder Rosa. So Thunder Rosa, of course, denies sandbagging. Oh, I never did that. I never did that. I'm such a professional. I never do something like that. And then all of a sudden, she gets a t-shirt that mocks the sandbagging thing. The shirt, which she wore on television, says sandbagging since 2014. So apparently she's aware that she has this reputation of being difficult to deal with and sandbagging and whatnot. So this brings us to Battle of the Belts 3, which, who cares? Nobody cared about that match. Where Thunder Rosa apparently broke Jamie Hayter's nose in a match. So that got her now heat with Jamie Hayter. Now, according to Ringside News, Jamie Hayter was pissed about Thunder Rosa breaking her nose and thus went looking for Thunder Rosa backstage, and Thunder Rosa was hiding in the bathroom. And I paused and said, wait a minute. Now, Thunder Rosa does have a legitimate MMA background. I did see her on Combates America. I did see her fight in MMA. She lost, but she fought. Why would she run from a woman with a broken nose? She already broke her nose. So you got the advantage already. She got to breathe through her mouth. So you got the advantage already. If you could take her down, maybe you got a chance. But apparently Thunder Rosa was hiding in the bathroom, just shook that maybe she was going to get jumped by Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. And she didn't really do much of anything after that, Thunder Rosa, because Jamie Hayter is gone now. So, well, she's not really gone. I think she was on Dynamite too recently. So then there's a mysterious injury in which Thunder Rosa can't walk. That's her own words. She can't walk. Now, wait a minute. Let's talk about this because I have quotes, which are my favorite things in the world. I'm not going to do it in my Thunder Rosa voice because it's too long. But she says, I'm not the best physically right now. I was in a lot of pain yesterday. A lot have been happening in the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of commission. I don't know for how long. For a couple of months, probably. I have a problem with my back. And yesterday, I was trying to be strong. Back problems are not easy. Some days are good, some days are not. Yesterday was not a good day. I was in a lot of pain. That's one of the reasons why I'm taking off. I want to clear the air. This is not fake. This is not a work. I'm not comparing injuries to injuries. If I could fucking walk, I can fucking work. Dr. Sampson, he didn't clear me to wrestle. I'm not cleared to wrestle. It's not that I don't want to do a match on Sunday at All Out. I can't walk. It's a shame that this is being put on social media, not only to discredit me as an athlete, but also discredit me as a wrestler. I want to walk when I'm 40. I have the right to say, no, I can't walk, I can't do it. I don't want to have surgery. If we keep doing this and going through the pain, then I'm going to be out for longer. I don't want that. Not everything that is being said is true. If anybody has a problem with me, anyone, call Busted Open, call my number. Tell me to my face. I don't hide from my problems. I don't run from my problems. You could talk to me. My door is open. That goes for anybody. I have taken accountabilities when things have happened. I'm a straightforward person. Some people don't like that and are afraid of that. I'm not. I'm a trained fighter. I don't run away from shit. Stop reading stupid shit online. And then Thunder Rosa got offline. Her Twitter account went down. Somebody took over her Twitter account, I should say, and said Thunder Rosa will not be online for the foreseeable future. It says, quote, Thunder Rosa is off social media. We ask you to respect her privacy. For any business inquiries, please contact me at Tony St. Allen. If any tweets are not on the Thunder Rosa voice, there will be signed accordingly by my signature, which is TA. And then it is signed TA. So, Thunder Rosa doesn't run from shit, but she got the fuck off Twitter. That's for sure. She got the fuck off there. She said she can't walk. She cannot walk. Look at this, man. I don't know what it is, but it seems like these people who are sort of legit, like Thunder Rosa and Eddie Kingston, they're so sensitive. It's so sensitive. She's so sensitive. She quit Twitter because people said her injury was fake because it came out of nowhere and people can't figure out where she was hurt and how she got hurt or, what the injury is, and nobody says it. And it took all of 40 seconds for them to announce that she was injured and that she had to move on. Now, of course, AEW does these silly interim titles, so it doesn't mean anything anyway. Do I believe, let's say, that Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker were going to beat up Thunder Rosa? No, I don't believe that. I think they were pretty pissed at her, for sure. She probably has a bad reputation. It happens, Now, the interesting thing about all this is some people would say, well, look, we don't know. It's not entirely true. Billy Gunn, in a recent, he's been very vocal in what's going on backstage in AEW. And Billy Gunn has said that it's kind of the Wild West back there, where there's too many people telling people to do things, and there's not enough structure of what's going on backstage, which of course we know is true because Tony Khan went and hired all these people and put out a public statement saying, oh, this is what Christopher Daniels is going to be doing, and this is what Madison Rayne is going to be doing, and this is what this person is going to do. Now, out of that whole scenario, the only thing that people really caught on to was the whole WWE is trying to steal our talent. That's that shit. But they skipped over the fact that the reason they put all of this stuff in place is because there are issues backstage. So some of this stuff has to be true. Why would Thunder Rosa... Now, let's say it's a work. As we all say, let's say it's a work. Why would AEW construct a work which makes Thunder Rosa look bad? Why would you construct a work that makes Thunder Rosa look... She's a babyface. It's the same thing I was saying about CM Punk. Why would you construct a work that makes your babyface look worse? No, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't construct a work that makes your babyface look like a coward, or makes your babyface look like an idiot, or make your babyface look like a bipolar goon. Now, the reason why I do think this stuff is worth discussing is because you see some sites like, Voices of Wrestling, which is an AEW shill site, talking about the whole Thunder Rosa hiding in the bathroom stuff. It's like, where is this shit coming from? All right. Like, where is that coming from? Like, you can even say some sites or some people who work for some sites are more WWE fans and more biased that way, or whatever the case may be. And that tends to be the more likely response for some people. Is they'll say, well, it's just WWE propaganda trying to destroy the jolly good time we're having backstage in AEW. And it's like, clearly you're not having a jolly good time. Clearly you're not. Because apparently Kenny Omega is now backstage giving people rah-rah speeches and tough love speeches. I like, for starters, let's let's talk about this thing first. Then we'll talk about whether Kenny Omega is even the right guy to be giving these speeches, which to me doesn't sound like he's the right guy to give these speeches. So apparently, this is from, I think, PW Insider. It says, at this point, I don't know what point this was. I clipped it out. Kenny Omega spoke and was the harshest towards the locker room, and what we were told by some came off as tough love and by others as, quote, really heavy-handed. Some saw this as Omega trying to light a fire under the roster, and others felt differently. Well, that tends to happen when you're like a coach or something like that. But here's the thing, and this is part of AEW's problem too. Everybody is so goddamn soft that, again, understand half that, well, there's people in that fucking roster, Luchasaurus, for instance, who worked in WWE, got yelled at by Bill DeMott, and then he went and wrote a letter to corporate like, oh my God, I cannot believe Bill DeMott used such harsh words to me. So yeah, I guarantee that there's somebody back there who Kenny Omega and his soft ass voice, you guys need to get together. I'm looking at the greatest array of talents in the professional wrestling business, and you guys are not producing the best wrestling arts that you possibly could. And they're like, oh my God, Kenny's attacking us. Why are you talking to me like this? It's like, come on, man. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Is this a sports team as they want you to believe? Or is this a high school play and everybody's just coming and going? Like, what is it? Because if you're on a team, if you actually played on any kind of team, the coaches might yell at you. The fucking point guards might yell at you if you're not pulling your own weight. You know, all these people, other people on teams hold each other accountable. The coaches do it too, but teammates may also do it. In this instance, Kenny Omega is both. He's both coach and teammate. You know? And people are like, Kenny Omega, oh my God, he's attacking us. He's coming off really heavy-handed. And some people are like, tough love. Some people suck back here, man. You guys are soft. And that's really what it is. This roster is full of soft motherfuckers. Just soft all the way through. I mean, it goes back. It starts at the top, too. Because it's like, not only is Tony Khan soft, but CM Punk is also soft. Remember, CM Punk was the guy who cried about Wrestler's Court. Like, everybody I've ever heard about Wrestler's Court, Brian Gerwitz, the fucking writer, went to Wrestler's Court. And he explained it as, oh, it's basically just a thing the guys do. It was some stupid stuff where, JBL's the prosecutor and Undertaker's the judge. And, it's fun and games. He wasn't in there scared. But CM Punk is like, the Wrestler's Court was such, what do you call it? Mediocre white man energy or some bullshit. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No. I need to back up. I want to be precise in what CM Punk said about Wrestler's Court. And I also want to explain a situation that also involved a non-wrestler. So CM Punk said about Wrestler's Court was the most insecure, small dick energy, average white man embarrassment to the wrestling business shit of all time. It's people having fun. That's what it was. Pete Gas, this is from the same article, actually, it's from Inside Wrestling, who was a member of the Mean Street Posse, talked about Teddy Long being on trial for Wrestler's Court for being a cheapskate. And if you hear the story, and if you just need to read it, it's a comedy thing where everybody's just fucking with each other. It's a big, long rib. That's really all it is. And they put you in this circle with everybody else, and it's a big joke segment. Nobody got beat up. Nobody got robbed or anything like that. It wasn't even like a major thing. And yet CM Punk, who knows nobody else knows anything about this shit, goes and says some shit about it. Oh, it's little dick energy. What the fuck you know about other people's dicks? Well, maybe more than I think. In any event, the idea is there are racehorses, there are zebras. I talked about this before. WWE, they go through and they try to find these racehorses, people who know how to work in a team environment. That's why they like, athletes. Athletes know how to play their role. This is your role on the team. You're the wide receiver. You don't try to be the star quarterback. You don't try to be the linebacker. You are the wide receiver. You play wide receiver. But then you have zebra. And all these people who are sort of independently going to do their own thing. And in independently doing your own thing, there's going to come problems with that. AEW built itself on being a place for zebra for guys like, Eddie Kingston and guys like Jon Moxley who just want to do their own thing. And when you're doing your own thing, yeah, you're going to bump into other people in a negative way because you're out to do your own thing. It's not really a team effort. You're used to going out there and just, I'm going to go bleed in the first match. We're going to bleed in the last match. And I'm going to put somebody through a table in the first match. And I'm going to put somebody through a table in the last match. And that makes your shows and everything off kilter. It also breeds contempt because you're not together all the time. You don't know how to really work with one another. So, yeah, I can imagine if you had a situation where Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston were in WWE at the same time. They would have forced them to talk about that before they even went out there. They probably even scripted the fucking promo. So this shit wouldn't even happen in the first place. You have in situations in WWE like you have Charlotte and Becky. They can't get along. They put them on separate brands. AEW, they just put them motherfuckers continuously back against each other. Oh, Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker don't get along, huh? Well, maybe they should have another match. Maybe they should have a tag team match now. Maybe they should keep fucking wrestling each other even though they don't like one another. Yeah, that seems smart to me. It's because these people are fucking soft and they're stupid and they don't understand how to build a team. This fucking guy, Tony Khan, again, it starts at the top, lack of leadership. If he knew anything about building a team, and he owns sports teams, he should know about building teams. You need to weed out the people who aren't team players. Even if that means they're talented people. Even if it's a guy like Eddie Kingston or somebody like Thunder Rosa, no matter how talented they are, if they're fucking up the dynamic of your team, you need to get fucking rid of them. And I'm not saying that he should get rid of them right now. I'm saying that Eddie Kingston, if he continues to be a problem, you need to tell Eddie Kingston bye-bye. Who gives a fuck if the internet likes him? If he's fucking up your environment that you got backstage, you need to get rid of the fucking guy. If Thunder Rosa is that much of a problem, then if, somebody, you had to fire somebody for getting rid of her, getting into it with her. If Marina Shafir has a problem with her, if Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter have a problem with her, if there's half the fucking women's locker room doesn't like her, then maybe the problem is her. And you need to be an adult and either pull her to the side and say, look, you need to fix your shit, or you need to get rid of her. But the problem is everybody's soft from top to bottom. The entire fucking AEW roster is stupid as fuck. And if it implodes under the weight of their own stupidity, then, or Eddie Kingston, then let them do them. All right, peace.
He's fat!